The reason why they want to keep data mining has not stopped one goddamn terrorist. Has done nothing. Have done nothing good. But we've spent billions of dollars spying on our own citizens, billions collecting metadata. And you know who gets that money? Booz Allen. That's right. Booz Allen I think they got $6 billion no-bid contract to keep doing the metadata. And I don't know, did James Clapper, did he used to work at Booz Allen and now he's the head of the NSA spying? Mm-hmm. And the guy who's at Booz Allen now used to be the head of the NSA spying. So it's kind of a nice crony capitalism. It's not even capitalism. It's just graft. That is complete fraud right there. There is no data mining that's helping keep us safer. All it's doing is breaking our constitution, breaking our bank, enriching the pockets of a handful of people. Just like those goddamn things that make sure we don't have a gun on us when we go through the metal detectors. Well, now remember they had the puff machines, and they got to put it in every. Well, it turns out the guy who puff machine who wanted to get the puff machines here had an interest in the puff machine company. And now, by the way, that turns out the puff machines don't work. They got rid of them all. We got all new machines. I wonder who at the TSA is working for that company. So this is all about money. Booz Allen getting $6 billion, whoever's making the drones, this is all about that. And Edward Snowden did a 4-hour interview. John Kerry, do you ever do a 4-hour interview? You'd be crying by the second hour. You wouldn't know what to wipe your ass or piss by the third hour. Are you kidding me? You couldn't stand up to George Bush.
I've seen 10-minute John Kerry speeches that seemed like 4 hours.
John Kerry needs to go back to the Frankenstein lab he came from.
Right. Everything is upside down now with John Kerry. He first spoke in front of Congress trying to get his country out of a war.
Yes.
Last year, he was speaking in front of Congress trying to get his country into a war.
Yes.
And now he's calling an American patriot a traitor. And I hope that people will weigh the infantile, insipid language that John Kerry was using against Edward Snowden, against the thoughtful, principled words that Edward Snowden was saying. And I hope that stirs some flame of patriotism in them, and they would realize. And also, John Kerry, he was saying that Snowden swore an oath. Our leaders swore an oath to the Constitution. Edward Snowden exposed secret surveillance programs that were unconstitutional. So tell me again, John Kerry, who betrayed their country? Who betrayed the Constitution? Who lied to Congress and lied to the American people? And by the way, John Kerry, your boss, Barack Obama, is calling for reforming these programs thanks to the revelations of Edward Snowden. That shows how important what Snowden did was. And I cannot believe I voted for this nitwit.
I take
my vote back. I am befriending him on Facebook, and I am unfollowing him on Twitter.
I want to tell John Kerry that America, the United States, is not so much a landmass, but an idea. And that idea is about freedom and liberty and freedom from governmental tyranny, that we are a nation of not of men, but a nation of laws, which was radical at the time of the founding of this country. That we are a nation of laws, that no man is above the law, that we are all equal under the law. That's the idea of what America is. And what he did is true to that idea of what America is. And what John Kerry's doing is untrue to the idea of what America is.
And where was John Kerry? Why wasn't he speaking, when he was a young Vietnam veteran, opposed to the war? Why wasn't he speaking out against Daniel Ellsberg in the Pentagon Papers, which is in exactly the same situation as this?
Let's bring it home with that, Frank. I'm so glad you brought that up, because they'll often say to him, "What are you doing in Russia?" John Kerry just said it. He went to Russia. The reason he's in Russia was because you guys were going to torture him, so he had to get Amscray out of the country. Okay. And the reason why he got stuck there was because he was trying to go to a friendly country in South America, but you revoked his passport when he left Hong Kong, you jagoff, okay? So that's why he's in Russia. And let me just say again, Daniel Ellsberg said that Edward Snowden leaving the country and not staying here to face trial was the right thing to do. What Edward Snowden did is exactly what Daniel Ellsberg would do today. And so that argument that, Daniel Ellsberg didn't leave the country, he manned up and said, is bogus. I just debunked it. It's over. But John Kerry will keep repeating it as if he has some kind of authority, because now he is part of the ruling class who wants to start wars, who wants to squelch dissent, who wants to put the thumb on someone just like him. They would like to shut him up from 1974. That's who he is right now. He's the other side of the table. He's become the monster, the Frankenstein monster that he was fighting against in his youth when he still had a soul. But now he has no soul. It's all been filled up with ketchup money and weakness because he's an insider. He won't even stand up against George Bush, a guy who stole an election from him, who's a war criminal, and you won't even go after him. But you want this other guy to man up. I want to say so many negative, mean things about John Kerry. I'll just leave it at that. You're the opposite of a patriot. You don't deserve whatever title you have, and you're a traitor. John Kerry, you're the guy who subverted the Constitution. You're the guy protecting the people who subverted the Constitution. John Kerry, traitor.